Muy buenas tardes y bienvenidos al canal. Vamos a hablar un poco de un segmento en el canal que pasaron el día de hoy en el canal Fox, en donde entrevistan al que sea el que probablemente sea sea el candidato número uno para ser el nuevo director del Departamento de Inmigración y Aduanas. Eh, Se debe tomar en cuenta que esto pues todavía está pendiente, él no tiene ni voz ni voto hasta que sea confirmado y hasta que el presidente Trump pues tome posesión. Por el momento el presidente es Biden, él es el que toma las decisiones. Esto es nada más con fines informativos eh, para que estén enterados. Es mejor escuchar de las personas que estar escuchando que alguien se lo diga sin, digamos, solo por hablar. O sea, ustedes van a escuchar pues de las personas que probablemente van a estar encargadas de migración, van a estar encargadas de esto, pues ustedes van a escuchar de parte de ellos. El señor es el señor Tom Holland, él ya fue director de migración en el periodo anterior del presidente Trump. Eh, Hay que tomar en cuenta pues que las deportaciones durante este periodo no fueron tan altas como cuando fue con el presidente Obama. O sea, se los explico nada más para tomarlo como un pequeño indicador de cómo pueden ser las cosas. Como les digo, yo no soy abogado de inmigración, o sea que aquí yo no les voy a dar consejos de eso porque no tengo la capacidad y es contra la ley de ponerme a dar consejos que no tengo licencia. Eh, Así que yo les agradecería si se suscriben al canal, le den un like y suenen la campanita. Luego por 3 meses, hice bastantes videos acerca de las encuestas y pues gracias a Dios, pues la información que yo di eh, fue prácticamente acertada, tomando en cuenta los números que teníamos. En estos videos yo hacía referencia de por qué era que las encuestas estaban tan cercas y quién era quien debía, por qué existía ese margen de error. El margen de error en las encuestas era el 3%. O sea que, bueno, gracias a Dios. Yo les voy a dejar al final del video la lista de reproducción de las encuestas de todos los videos de las encuestas, por si alguien tiene curiosidad de ver cómo iban en determinado periodo de tiempo pues lo pueden ver ahí. Yo voy a hacer un video del final de las encuestas con respecto a los resultados, cuando se tengan los resultados final de todo. ¿Por qué? Porque todavía el Congreso de los Estados Unidos no está definido, solo el Senado. El Congreso todavía hay alrededor de entre 15 y 17 eh, puestos para el Congreso que todavía no se han declarado ganador, todavía están contando votos. Entonces, mientras no se tenga el resultado total, sabemos quién ganó la presidencia, tenemos los resultados, eh, pero falta el Congreso todavía. ¿Por qué? Porque el Congreso es el que autoriza el dinero, ¿ya? Eh, y dependiendo quién tenga el Congreso, así va a ser el mandato del presidente Trump. Va a tener la posibilidad de hacer las cosas o, digamos, con respecto a las deportaciones, pues se va a necesitar una cantidad bastante grande de dinero y es el Congreso el que la tiene que aprobar. Si el Congreso él lo tiene en contra, pues va a ser más difícil. Si lo tiene a favor, pues va a ser más fácil para él. Esto es de tomarlo en cuenta. Mientras no tenga esa información, yo no voy a poder hacer el último video que quiero hacer solo uno, con toda la información de digamos, del Senado, del Congreso, pues, y de la Casa Blanca. No, no, no espero que sea muy largo porque, digamos, ya sabemos quiénes ganaron. Entonces, como les repito, nuevamente vamos a entrar a ver el video donde habla el presidente Trump brevemente, pero sí le hacen una entrevista al posible y más que seguro nuevo director del Departamento de Inmigración y Aduanas. Como les digo, gracias por su suscripción. Tengan buen día y que Dios los bendiga.
Trump vows to secure the border on day one while deporting millions who have broken the law. There are 8 to 10 million illegals in the country right now on Joe Biden's watch. So what do you do with them? Are you going to deport them all?
Well, you're going to have to deport a lot of them. It's not sustainable.
How will it be done? And will former ICE Director Tom Homan be leading the charge? Tom Homan is here live next to tell us, along with Key Square Capital Management CEO and founder Scott Bessent on the incoming Trump administration's economic policy plans. Right here, next. Welcome back. President-elect Donald Trump has vowed to get right to work when he returns to the White House on January 20th. With the economy and immigration his two top priorities, Trump is expected to issue executive orders to secure the border and tap into America's energy capacity to lower oil prices, spark economic growth, and rein in inflation that has seen the cost of basic essentials skyrocket under the Biden-Harris administration, while enacting mass deportation to remove the millions of people illegally living in America. Joining me now are former acting ICE Director Tom Homan and Key Square Capital Management CEO and founder Scott Bessent. Gentlemen, great to have you both with us. We so appreciate the both of you. We are expecting you both to have a role in the upcoming Trump administration next year. So, Tom Homan, let me kick it off with you. What are the plans for deportation? You heard what President Trump told me in that interview a couple of months ago. He says it's got to be done. How do you round up 10 million people and deport them?
Well, look, I agree with the president's plan on this, and the same plan he had during his first administration. You concentrate on the public safety threats and the national security threats first, because they're the worst of the worst. So it's going to be the worst first. That's how it has to be done. And we know a record number of people on the terrorist watch list have crossed this border. We know a record number of terrorists have been released in this country. We've already arrested some planning attacks. So look, the president is dead on when he says criminal threats, national security threats are going to be prioritized, and that's the way it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. Scott Bessent, the Wall Street Journal this morning is writing about the cost of this deportation, and it's going to be hefty. So you've got the cost of rounding up people who may have committed crimes for deportation at a time that President Trump wants to have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. How will we afford all of this?
Well, Maria, first of all, let's talk about the human cost. We have 100,000 fentanyl deaths a year because of the porous border. We have the increased crime. We have the underlying fear that the American people have. You can't put a price on that. But I'll tell you, too, that what we are going to do here, Donald Trump has staged the biggest political comeback in history, and I think that we are on the verge of a golden age in the economy for the next 4 years, where we can have a growth agenda, where we deregulate, get energy prices down, and get interest rates down, and that will drive growth like we have not seen for years. And the cost of this deportation will be a rounding error, but I keep going back to the human cost, and you can't put a price on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things that he has said he wants to do is re-implement his Remain in Mexico policy. Tom, tell me about that. That requires asylum seekers to stay in Mexico while their cases are processed. Your thoughts on how important that will be? And again, same question for you, the cost of deportation.
Well, first of all, the cost of deportation, this President Trump's plan is going to be a cost savings to the American people, because this administration is paying for free airline tickets all over the country, free hotel rooms at $500 a night, a free education, free medical care, and that's in perpetuity. What President Trump's plan is going to do is, over time, is going to save the taxpayers money and put an end to this foolishness. They're paying $500 a night for a hotel room in New York City. Meanwhile, there's empty ice beds at $127 a night. So President Trump's plan is going to save taxpayers money over time. And as far as the Remain in Mexico program, look, I worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I worked for took steps to try to secure the border. No one did more than President Trump. Okay, his success was unprecedented. And when he came up with the Remain in Mexico program, that was an outstanding idea, because that stopped people from coming. People are still claim asylum, but they're going to wait in Mexico. But once the word got out that they weren't going to be released, they stopped coming. When they stopped coming, women aren't being raped by the cartels. Children aren't drowning in the river. The cartels aren't making money. So President Trump's policy to remain in Mexico, not only a game changer, moved it to an historic low on illegal immigration, it saved thousands of lives.
Well, I mean, look, practically speaking, who's going to do it? Are you envisioning military troops throughout the country rounding people up? Tell me how it's going to be done in a practical sense.
First of all, I want to make one thing clear. I read a piece this morning, I think Daily Caller, somebody said, Tom Homan says the military is going to go out rounding up and arresting illegal aliens. Never said that. Never said that in my entire life or in my career. So that was a ridiculous thing I just read in the paper this morning. It's going to be a well-targeted, planned operation conducted, led by the men of ICE. The men and women of ICE do this daily. They're good at it. They're all got Fourth Amendment training. They know they can and cannot do illegally. And it's a well-targeted. When we go out there, we're going to know who we're looking for. We most likely know where they're going to be, and this will be done in a humane manner. I keep reading these stories about concentration camps. ICE has the highest detention standards in the industry. And so these people will be well taken care of. It will be a humane operation, but it's a necessary mass deportation operation.
Scott Bessent, are tariffs going to pay for this partly? How worried are you about this uproar over strategic tariffs, is how President Trump has stated it?
Well, Maria, first of all, to go back to Tom's point, I think in a Trump 2.0, you are going to see an all-of-government coordination like you have never seen before. Everyone in the administration is going to be aligned, just as you saw with Senator Rick Scott. So, I think that there will be a lot of voluntary deportations. I've been working on a plan for financial deportation that could restrict the flow of funds in terms of remittances. And so I think this is going to be an all-government effort. In terms of the tariffs, I think the tariffs have been mischaracterized. They're a one-time price increase, and nobody knows how to use these tariffs like President Trump, both for revenue and negotiating. Okay,
gentlemen, great conversation. We so appreciate your time, and we look forward to many more discussions with you both. Tom Homan and Scott Bessent, thank you. We'll be right back.